Hey guys, welcome back to the Wild Wrestling Channel. I am your host, Seth. Today, I'm going to be giving you who I think is going to dethrone each world champion in a couple of companies like WWE, AEW, TNA, and AAA. So let's hop right into the video. Play the intro. First up is Mike Santana from TNA. Mike Santana recently just won the title from Frankie Kazarian this past Thursday on Impact, and just defended it this past weekend against Frankie Kazarian in a Texas Death Match at Genesis. Nick Nemeth tried to cash in, but he wasn't successful, so Mike Santana right now is ruling as the world champion. I think now that he reclaimed the title, he is going to have a very long reign. I wouldn't know if it's going to be super long, but I think he's definitely going to get a couple months in of just grinding out TNA, especially when they have a lot of pay-per-views back-to-back. But eventually, after him ruling over TNA for a while, I think I have an idea of who could take the title off him. And that's pretty self-explanatory. Of course, it's Nick Nemeth. Nick Nemeth is the only one now that Frankie Kazarian cashed in, who's the Call Your Shot Gauntlet winner, and I think he's going to buy his time, has many unsuccessful cash-ins, and just wait, and after a couple months, I think he's going to have one cash-in that finally works out, gets Mike Santana down, and ends up winning the title from Mike Santana to be TNA World Champion and have his second reign with a belt. His first reign was pretty good, but it kind of was a little lackluster in my opinion. He only had a couple. He had a couple good matches, and I think it was a couple of matches, but I still think he had a good reign at the end of 2024, and I think now as a heel, it'll be interesting to see how they experiment with him, and I think he'll have an even better reign now as a heel, but I'm really interested to see how it would work out, and Nick Nemeth is who I think is going to become the next TNA World Champion. Next up, we have the NXT Championship. Currently, there is no one who's holding the title, so this is going to be more of who I think will win the title. But being honest, after seeing the stacked field and the ladder match that's going to come about, and there's a lot of stacked people getting in there, there's definitely one person above the rest, in my opinion, that definitely could win this, and that person is Ricky Saints. Ricky Saints right now, his new heel character would definitely be great for the NXT Championship. He only had a couple-month reign with the title. I don't think it was long enough for him, and I think now that they gave over the title to kind of boost him up to the main roster, and now I think Ricky with his new heel character would do good work with the NXT Championship, especially seeing what he's done in like AEW. So I think Ricky would be a great person to start off this new championship reign with, and he can have great matches against other great baby faces. And I'm interested to see how that reign would go, but I think Ricky Saints is going to become the next NXT champion. To throw in a little bit of a mix here, let's talk about the AAA Mega Championship. Dirty Dom is currently the AAA Mega Champion, and I think that he's going to have a good... He hasn't really done that much with it. I think it was more at Worlds Classics to get the title on him. He's definitely defended it a couple times, though, and I think it's good to kind of just have him hold the title. But I think after a while, there's definitely one person on my mind who definitely can take the title off him and really continue as he's more of a bigger face in AAA. And that is, of course, El Hijo del Vikingo. Vikingo right now is, I'm pretty sure he just turned heel, especially if you looked at what happened this weekend at AAA with Omos and Rey Mysterio helping El Grande Americano. I think Vikingo is now officially a full heel with Omos by his side. So I think with Omos' help, he can win back the title from Dirty Dom and become that heel. And now he'll have another great reign as AAA Mega Champion, but like Ricky Saints, it'll now be more of a heel reign for him than a babyface reign. Same with Nick Nemeth, too. It's all three of these guys have held this title before. Now they're all just switching and having more of a heel reign than a babyface reign. I'd be very interested to see how Vikingo does as a heel, especially with the great matches he puts on. But I think it would still be a great reign, especially with Omos by his side. So I think Vikingo is going to be the next AAA Mega Champion. Next up, we have MJF, who is currently the AEW World Champion. MJF just won the title at World's End, and right now he's had a pretty good reign. He beat Bandito at Maximum Carnage to retain the title. And I think he's going to have a little bit of a nice reign now, probably just a couple months, or maybe a little longer with the title to kind of just bring him back after being gone for a while and get him back to the spotlight. I think his reign will be great. I think he'll have some great matches and cut some great promos and stuff like that and elevate his character even more than it already is. But after a while, I think I have the person in mind who will beat him for the title. And that person is Swerve Strickland. there were a lot of faces in AEW that it was a hard time choosing who I really thought, because there's a lot of faces in AEW who could definitely have a shot to win this. But Swerve Strickland is definitely hands down the best guy to win it. I mean, his feuding with MJF and working with Hangman and Samoa Joe at the end of 2025 worked very well. And like the biggest thing was just like he's right now, in my opinion, is kind of the closest guy to feuding with MJF. He held the world title back in 2024 and had a couple months reign with it, and he hasn't gotten another title since. And I think he's had a couple title shots, but he hasn't been able to win the title again. And I think if they start a good feud here over the next couple months, it will give Swerve a big win, one of the big pay-per-views, and I think it'll help him get over and get another title reign with the AEW World title. And Swerve is definitely the next pick in my book to win the AEW World Championship. Now moving on to the WWE main roster, let's start with the World Heavyweight Championship, who is currently in the hands of CM Punk. Punk right now has had a good reign. He won the title back at Saturday Night's Main Event in November, and he's had a good reign so far. He's about to face Finn Balor on Raw, and he's faced off against Braun Breaker at the beginning of the year. He's had some good matches so far and has really done well with the World Heavyweight title. I'm interested to see how he will perform in this with the rest of his reign. Sorry that I mind blanked for a sec. But I think after a while of his reign, I definitely have the person in mind who could take it off of him. And that is Braun Breaker. Braun just faced him, like I just said, at the beginning of the year, but I don't know if it would be through the Royal Rumble or whatever, but Braun, I feel like since it was their first match, it makes sense why he could lose, but I feel like all that has done, as we saw on Raw last week, is just going to motivate him, so now I think he just can go down a stretch of time. I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if it's through the Royal Rumble or the Elimination Chamber or whatever, but I think at some point, Braun Breaker's going to get another crack at Punk, and I think this time, Braun's going to go over and end up getting the win here. He's ready to be a world champion. He's already been the world title picture. He took his first loss, and now he's ready for the win. And Braun Breaker's definitely the next guy to win the World Heavyweight Championship. And finally, the Men's Undisputed Championship in WWE, which is currently held by Drew McIntyre. Drew just won the title in the 3 Stages of Hell match against Cody Rhodes, and I think that he is going to have a bit of a reign here. He finally got the title back. Now that he's going to be in front of fans, I think he definitely deserves a great reign here. And I don't know if it's going to go through WrestleMania, to WrestleMania, whenever. I think he's going to have a little bit of a couple months reign. And I have 2 people in mind who I think could be the next champion, so let me share them with you. First is Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is currently building himself up, especially at the promo we saw at the beginning of the year. He wants to be a world champion this year. I don't know if he's going to win it at the Royal Rumble and then get to WrestleMania or whatever, but I think at some point, Sami Zayn is going to be a world champion, and I feel like it's going to be sooner rather than later. I personally would like him to win the Royal Rumble and go to WrestleMania or the Elimination Chamber or something. I feel like it would be perfect for him to win there and get to go face Drew, and that's where it could end. But either way, I think Sami's definitely a contender here. He definitely needs to win a world title this year, and he's definitely a great person to do it. And there's one other person who I think could dethrone Drew. And that guy is Randy Orton. Randy just returned at the beginning of the year, and as we saw on SmackDown, he's already getting in the face of Drew and trying to prove his mark. He's going to Montreal, same with Sami, to face off in that Fatal 4-Way, and I think just like Sami, I don't know if Randy's going to win the Royal Rumble or the Elimination Chamber. I don't know if he's going to go on that path, but I think at some point this year he's going to win number 15 for himself. Like I said, I don't know if he's going to do it sooner or later, but I think at some point he's going to win number 15 this year. And I'm putting him on this list because it could be sooner, and he could be a guy who dethrones Drew since he's already gotten in the face. But I think it all depends on what WWE wants to do. But those are the 2 guys who I definitely think could dethrone Drew this year. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below if you enjoyed this video, and turn on that bell so you get notified whenever I upload a brand new video. And also comment down below if you agree with my picks. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.